Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Fibromyalgia mom here. As promised, I was going to do a video on how we can deal and cope with some stress. I know, like, with everything going on right now, so many changes. Everybody is under so much stress. Sorry, right now I'm just getting back spasms. Okay. Whew, yeah, so as you can see, cold weather is not our friend. I think it affects everybody differently. However, with me, it just causes me to ache, and boy, the spasms kick in. Ugh. Okay, back to the stress. Like I was saying, sorry about that, but you can't help it. It comes when it wants to, right? So, like, I noticed when you're under a lot of stress, and again, this is just my voice, my opinion, my thoughts, and it affects everybody differently. But I've noticed when I'm under a lot of stress and pressure, the flare ups are more often. Sometimes they'll even last a little bit longer. So, yeah, I try my best to like ease off the stress as much as I can, eliminating things that I do sometimes, taking a few things off my plate because I have a tendency to fill my plate with more and more and more to do. I don't know why, but I do. And right now, with everything going on, everybody is under a lot of financial stress. People are still out of work. People are still looking for work. People's hours are still getting cut short. Like my daughter is a bus aide, so if the kids go to school, she works, but if they don't, then she don't work. So there's that. So it's just what it is right now. It's our new normal, as they said. So again, to the financial stress, like not working or not making up as much money as you did before COVID. I mean, come on. We all have house payments, or rent, electric bills, taxes, water bills, food, clothing. A high majority of us have children that we're also supporting. And that right there alone is just enough stress to drive someone bonkers. Something goes wrong with your car or whatever, now you're like, more stressed, right? Yeah. So, on top of the financial stress, and you've got other stressors in your life, uh, it just wreaks havoc on you. So, my thought is, like I was telling you, it really causes my flare ups. So, the one thing that I have a tendency to want to do is just go in my own quiet space. Sometimes I will pray. Sometimes I just need to lay down and just listen to some more music or just be in a quiet space alone, just no talking, no nothing. I have also a counselor on standby that I have spoken to about, a lot of my stress and anxiety. So seeking out a counselor is not a bad thing either. I mean, sometimes just talking it through is wonderful. I also recommend some of my own personal people who come, with a lot of stress or negative, because I can see right now a lot of people are just so negative about every little thing. And it drives me crazy. Uh, so, oh, the gas prices are going to go up, this is going to go up, that's going to go up. Well, stop speaking it into existence because it could happen. Just, be a little more positive and assertive in outlook. So I recommend, and I've done it personally myself, doing a positive journal, because journaling, you're looking for the positives throughout the whole day to journal about. You stop looking at all the negatives and you stop focusing on negative and you start focusing on positive. I also would suggest too, when you're doing your positive journaling, on this back page of your journal, just write out your personal thoughts through the day, your personal feelings for the day. I mean, this is something that's just you. It's all you, it's all yours, it's your personal thoughts, your feelings, and no one else is going to see it unless you show it to them. But the positive journaling is super, super, I mean, it really does work if you use it properly. Like I said, start off with just a few, two. Okay, so today I find two things that made a positive impact on me. Okay, like for me, my first positive impact was when I got up this morning. My feet did not hurt. Okay, that's a positive aspect for me. That's a positive aspect for anybody who's fibromyalgia. Trust me. And the second positive impact that I had was how excited our dog was to see me come out. And he was so happy and so excited to see me. And that just melts my heart when he's so happy and so excited to see me. So that's two. Okay, and then we're going to do that for a little while. And then we're going to bump it up to three. Okay, so now we're going to find three positive aspects for a day. Well, okay, again, let's just say, well, I woke up late. No, that's not a positive aspect. Okay, I overslept my alarm. That's not another positive aspect. So we can say, I woke up this morning. Hello, that's a positive. God gave you another day, so that is a positive aspect. I got up this morning and I was able to breathe. I was able to walk. I was able to do what I wanted to do. I was able to make breakfast this morning. Okay? That's a positive aspect, especially for someone with fibro. How many days have we struggled to even just stand there to flip an egg? You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean. So that's a positive aspect for us, okay? I woke up this morning and I had a few dollars extra in my bank account. That's a positive aspect. I woke up this morning and saw all the beautiful snow-covered trees. I wished I could show you. No, kind of. And it was just so breathtaking to see such beauty, okay? That's a positive. You saw something positive. It made you feel good. Again, my puppy is always so happy to see me. That makes me feel good. Those are all positive aspects. Dude, I've literally given you all kinds of examples. So if you are a fibro patient and you really need to start alleviating a lot of our stressors that we have in our life, and just being in pain causes a lot of stress and a lot of depression. And again, when I feel the depression coming in, I seek my counselor very quickly. I am working as a counseling intern myself. I also life coach for education for kids. So I don't have time to be depressed. I don't have time to be in pain, but that happens. So listen, I'm telling you, when you have these stresses in your life, this is what we need to do. We need to come together and we need to communicate with one another. And help each other, encourage each other. Always feel free to comment on my videos and say, I watched your video today. It was very encouraging. Or I watched your video today and I think you really didn't make any sense. I don't care. I can take negative criticism just as well as positive. We need to be there for one another. We need to encourage and uplift one another. Because having fibromyalgia is a struggle enough. But when we feel alone, it makes the struggle even harder for us to do. Okay? Because when you're in pain and laying in bed, you just feel useless. You feel helpless. You watch everybody do everything that you want to do. And it just makes you feel so empty, kind of. And that's a stressor. Again, get that journal out and start thinking about some of the positive things that already occurred to that day. Okay? Change that focus. Let's change that mindset. It is a wonderful tool, and I don't want to hear you say, "Oh, but it's so much work. Now I got to buy a journal." Oh, please. The dollar stores have journals. Dollar Generals have journals, and they're only like $2, okay? So if you can't afford a journal, you just let me know, because I really feel that positive about these journals and what they can do for you in your life. So those are some examples that I have to alleviate a lot of stress. Again, seeking counseling is not a bad thing. Sometimes talking it through is wonderful. Knowing that somebody understands you and what you're dealing with and what you're going through makes a huge difference. being there for each other, encouraging and uplifting each other, doing the positive journal. I mean, these are all things that I have personally done or am doing still and now, okay? I'm not going to recommend you guys to do any of this stuff if I myself have not personally done it. Now, I had stopped with the journaling for a little while, and excuse me, my blood pressure's up even with my pills. So I took a step back and thought, okay, so why all of a sudden is my blood pressure so good for so long, but now it's up? Well, it creeping up because, first of all, I am stressing out over my daughter hadn't been working in almost a month. And as a mom, come on, you know you're going to stress out over your kids' finances too. Because she's crying and she's upset and she's stressing because she's got rent and Jeep payments and Jeep insurance and she's got bills. And you, as her mom, not working, can't financially help her because you can't even financially help yourself, which, okay, now that's piling on me because I'm her mom who can't help her, so that makes me feel bad, okay? On top of that, it's like my husband's torn. Do I stay or do I leave? And he's trying to figure out what transition to make for himself next. And that, again, I support him in whatever decision he makes. But that also causes me to have some anxiety because I'm like, what if he finds a job and it's too complicated or too hard for him because he has such an awful time with his back and he finds that he can't do it and he already left that job that he could do. And this is all the things that run in my head. I'm telling you, it's yeah, okay. Oh, and you have a son who has autism and you're homeschooling him. On top of that, he also has type 1 diabetes. So you're staying on top of that and checking sugars and giving insulin, counting carbs. So there's that. And, and you do what you can. And I know how I was telling you, I just pile more and more on my plate. Well, that's what I I don't just take on my stresses, I take on my family's as well. And that's one of the things that I need to work with not doing. I know. I do. I told you I'm talking to a counselor because I just have a tendency to do that. Yeah. I take on their stresses. Now, my son's, he's only 13, so yeah, it's sad. Ugh. Okay, and then, like, I want to make dinner sometimes because I know when he comes home, he's going to be sore or hurting on a long day. And there's days I can't stand there and it's up to him. And then I feel horrible, which stresses me out because I feel horrible not being able to do it for him or my family. So these are just other examples of what we deal with and go through on top of the stress of being in pain, on top of the stress of, not being able to walk or move, on top of the stress of being in bed and sleeping because our pain pills just make us so exhausted, or we're just so completely exhausted from fighting pain, we just want to sleep. And when we're sleeping, we're not getting things done. We're not, and then I wake up and I'm like, oh, I needed to do that and I didn't do it. It's life. It's basically life. We as fibro patients need to learn how to adjust to our own life, just like everyone is trying to adjust to the new norm since the COVID. We also need to adjust to our own life. And on top of us adjusting, we need to communicate more with our family so they too can adjust. Okay? Like my kids have picked up on the chore levels as to what they do because there's days I can't even get a duster through the house. So my daughter will be here and she'll dust through the house. Now, my son pretty much takes over. He does great. He vacuums and cleans his own room. They get the laundry for me. So they've picked up on what I can't do. So my husband, of course, obviously, he does most of the cooking. He runs all the errands and goes to the grocery store because, again, it is very complicated for me to even walk 10 minutes in a grocery store and I got to stop. So he has taken on the role of doing all that. So, like I said, you have to communicate with your family and they have to start filling in the gaps. Here's the things we can do. There's the things we used to do in these gaps. Well, your family can help fill in those gaps for you. And that really helps and alleviates a lot of our stress. Okay? So I really hope that you take to heart and just listen to some of the advice that I had given. Again, it's my personal thought, my personal feelings, and my own words. It worked for me. It may not work for you, but it's still worth a shot. It's still worth a shot. Make sure you monitor your blood pressure really close too, because the stresses, they're not good, not cool. Okay? So, again, to help alleviate some of our stress that we have or we bring on to ourselves, start the positive journaling. Again, seek counseling. There's counselors all over. And communication is the key with your family. I know I had to communicate a lot with my family outside of my own house. You miss birthday parties and gatherings with families because you just can't leave the house. It's too cold or you hurt. And they have to understand that as well. So communication is a big key factor as well. And it really does help. Okay? So as promised, I gave you some helpful tips and ideas on how we can calm ourselves down and try to alleviate some of the stress that we have on ourselves, whether it be with the fibro or everything else around us. Okay? I hope everyone has a beautiful day. Here it is absolutely beautiful. We have the snow on the trees. So enjoy it and God bless you and I love you.